You're listening to the Business Brain Food Podcast. Well, welcome back to the Business Brain Food Podcast. This, my friend, is the podcast
to the Business Brain Food Podcast, the show business owners listen to when they want to take their business to the next level. Head to businessbrainfood.com.au to catch up on past episodes and access show notes from every episode. Now, here's your host, Ben Futrell.
To the next level, and today is no different. Maybe I should try and take my speech to the next level. Anyway, we are going to be joined very, very shortly by soccer superstar Dean Evans. Before we get Dean onto the podcast, I just want to remind you that today's podcast is brought to you by maximumprofit.com.au. Now, the team at Maximum Profit help you build the business that you imagine. So if you imagine having a business that was more profitable, maybe it gave you more time to do the things you loved, or maybe it was a little more fun to have a business, then maybe you need to talk to the team at maximumprofit.com.au. The team at Maximum Profit work with you one-on-one to help you implement systems and strategies to grow your business, make it more sustainable, and structure it for that stable, steady growth that allows you to work on the business instead of in the business, giving you the business that you imagined. Head across to maximumprofit.com.au to learn more. Now, as I alluded to, we've got Dean Evans coming on here. Dean, he's 29. He played professionally at Perth Glory, along with a number of state league teams, where his passion for football turned into his business venture of opening one of WA's leading soccer centres, the Football Centre. Now, the Football Centre was created to spark passion and education to youth footballers as well as adult players, and they provide a number of services including night tournaments, private coaching, children's play sessions, school camps, and team trainings. Welcome to the Business Brain Food Podcast, Dean.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for having me. Excited to be on here and to share my adventures so far within business.
Really looking forward to the chat today, mate. And I called you a soccer superstar because really, I mean, you call it football, I call it soccer. Does that frustrate you?
Look, to be honest, growing up in Australia, everyone calls it soccer. And when you got AFL as the leading sport, look, we're always second, but for me it's football because it's the world game. It's played worldwide, so yeah, I've always referred to it as football.
So tell us about that, mate. How did you end up becoming a professional football player?
Oh, look, it's a long journey, to be honest. Started when I was, really young, but only till I got to my mid-teens, I realised I had a bit of potential. I got it within the Glory structure when I was about 18, and from there sort of, it took me different paths. I went overseas for a bit, overseas in Asia for a year, and then I came back when I was 23 and signed for my local club, Perth Glory. So, no, it was exciting, but then injuries came and took its part in football, and that set me back a bit. And now, look, it took me to another path, which was coaching. So, yeah, I'm still excited to be involved in football.
Yeah, so it's obviously a passion of yours if you've been involved for so long. And because we hear this story quite often, though, where players get injured and can really affect. I mean, of course, they can't play football anymore, so they've got to or their sport, so they've got to think about something else. What was it that led you into business? How did you come about starting the business side?
Oh, look, lucky enough, when I was about 20, I started doing a bit of coaching just with a different company. And look, I loved it. And whilst I was still playing as well, so I had that little bit of back in there where I thought, you know what, once my footballing career comes to an end, I've got something there on the side that I can look into. And look, to be honest, the business venture of the Football Centre, that came about just with one of my mates that I'd played with for so long in football. And we just got speaking, and we're like, why don't we just, open our own centre? And from there, we started planning. We looked into council, into different places that we could, potentially rent and lease. And yeah, it took us to a centre in Osborne Park in Perth, and we just went gung-ho from there, to be honest. We did all the planning, we did all the research on what type of grass we need, and yeah, everything else with it. So no, it's exciting, that's for sure, but it was definitely very difficult getting started.
Yeah, and was it your first business, or have you had something else in the past?
No, that's my first business, to be honest. So again, look, you're taking a risk, especially in Perth. It's a small footballing community, but I think that works in our path in a good way too, because I think everyone knows sort of who we are in the footballing world, and they can trust us to bring their kids to them. So yeah, no, it's exciting, but yeah, it was a big risk at the time, but we've slowly we've taken our path in a good direction, I think.
Yeah, and so let's just go back to when you were thinking about starting a business, was that something that was a very definite thing for you? Was it that somebody that encouraged you to do it? Like what? Tell us about that decision-making process at that point in time for you, because it must have been a tough decision.
Yeah, no, look, myself and my partner in business, Reese Vitilia, we did all the logistics and all the costs and what it was going to set us back. And look, at the time, we're probably both thinking, look, maybe this is a bit too much. Maybe we can't afford it. Maybe it's too big a risk to take. But look, I think with the support of, not only our beliefs in what we were going to do and what we wanted to achieve, and then the support around us with our family, we thought, you know what, let's give it a crack, because no one else has done it in Perth. And it's something we don't look back on, that's for sure, because there's so much potential in it. And just from the get-go, it's been non-stop. It's been hectic, but it's fun. It's something you love, especially when you do something you love, it's not work,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's the old cliche of saying, but it really is, because, we've both been brought up with it throughout our life. And then now, obviously, giving back to the kids that are the next generation of footballers, it's fantastic. It's a great feeling. And when they step in the door and walk in the doors, they're so thankful for what, we teach them. So it's very rewarding.
Yeah. And so you talk about, there was a big risk and you had to ask whether or not you could afford it. Did you self-fund this yourself, or did you get capital injection? How did you go about funding it?
This was all mine and Reese's money. So yeah, look, again, that's why the risk was probably even greater. But
yeah,
look, we believe what we were doing. And look, we didn't go into it blind. We did numerous planning on it, and where we were going to make our money, where, how we're going to safeguard all of that as well. So we thought, these are our pockets. These are where we're going to work on. And look, it turned out well. It turned out well so far.
Yeah. And how do you and Reese sort of complement each other? Has Reese got different skills to you in business?
Yeah, look, we're pretty different, I'd like to say. Look, I'm more the networker.
Yeah.
I like to communicate with people and speak to, different types of people all the time. Not that saying Reese doesn't do that either, but he's more handy on the tech type stuff, your computers, social media. So look, we complement each other very well. And obviously the coaching side of things, that comes quite natural to us after playing for so long as well. So look, we complement each other in different ways, but to good effect as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you did the planning at the beginning, was there one of you that was strong at that, or did you get some external help to help you plan this out to make sure it was viable?
Yeah, no, we definitely had external help. Reese's partner, she was massive in helping us in that as well, because she had a background. I forgot what she did, sorry, at college, but yeah, she had a background in some of the business aspect there. And then, look, speaking of my dad, he's involved in business. Reese's dad involved in business. Yeah, we had the right people helping us. And then when obviously we got to the right planning with the council, we got outside people just helping us with that. So it was all a smooth process.
Yeah, so important, isn't it? So it's one of my next questions was going to be, are you surrounded by other entrepreneurs? And it sounds like you are. So your dad's in business, Reese's dad's in business. So is this something that sort of runs in the family? Yeah,
look, I'd like to think so, but dad's on a different side of market. I'm sure, I think Reese's dad as well. But it's just, look, to be honest, if I knew starting at 20 I was going to open my own business, I'd say no, wouldn't have a clue about doing it. But with learning and with, other advice from people and, positive people as well. Because look, we've had a lot of negative people saying we couldn't do it. We weren't, able to do it. We weren't good enough to do it. All these little negative factors. But, I think we stayed true to what we believed in, Reese and I. And yeah, we took that jump and we took that step, and now we're here.
So tell me more about that. What do you mean by that? Like, are you family members or people that are in the industry? Who was telling you couldn't do it?
Probably more people in the industry, to be honest, because like I said, Perth's a small place. We've heard little rumors here and there that people tried to do what we wanted to do a long time ago, but you know what? Everyone sort of says it, but they don't actually do it. Yeah. So look, we jumped to it. We did it. And look, even when we started, people still thought we were going to fail, which is great. It drives us to be a bit more hungry and prove them wrong as well. So look, we're obviously not going to mention who, but that's part of the industry. That's part of, I think, business. And it's part of life too.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see that there were people in your industry that were, I guess we could call them naysayers, saying it wasn't possible.
Yeah.
Does it feel good? Was that part of your drive though? Like I speak to some entrepreneurs where part of their drive is they've been told by a family member or by somebody in their industry that it's not going to work or it's not possible. And really what they want to do is just, stick it up at the end of the day and say, look what I did, Is that part of the drive for you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think it's a bit of the drive, definitely. But also, look, we backed ourselves. We knew exactly what we were getting into. Like I said, I think the biggest thing for us was the planning that we did. It took us over a year to get the football centre started up and running properly. Because of the amount of planning that went into it, because we didn't want to go in blind, and then once we were in there, it was too late to get out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we knew what we were doing. But again, that drive from the outside influences of people just being negative, that helped us too. That helped us too, because
it could also be a disabler, couldn't it? With people saying, I told you so, I told you, especially when things went wrong, maybe you start to doubt yourself. Was there a time when you ever doubted, or was it always a success from day one?
No, look, because in how we run the business, we have tournaments that we do at night time, which is our five-a-side, and obviously the teams that come in, it generates good money for us as well. So certain things. We did have that, we had that feel sometimes, but I'm not saying it was smooth sailing all the way. We definitely had that feeling of people aren't coming to us. We've got a lot of downtime. How can we fix this downtime?
Yeah.
But it was that time where we could learn and go, okay, what can we do better then to get more people in our doors? So it was look, even the downtime was a positive for us in terms of we can make something work from this too.
Yeah. And when did you launch the footy centre? When did that start, the football centre?
So we launched in 2017. It says we were established 2016. That was more the idea of when it came to fruition. But September 2017. So we're going in our second year this year.
So you just turned
coming
2.
up soon.
Yeah.
Turning 2 in just under 3 weeks.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, so this comes out in September, so you probably just turned 2. Yeah.
Fantastic. Great news then. Awesome.
So congratulations. I think
thank you.
And that's something for I guess, which is interesting. I don't know if you've heard that saying by Abraham Lincoln, and he said, if give me 6 hours to chop down a tree and I'll spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. You took a year to really plan this out. Was that, tell us a bit about that process. Did you spend time meeting every week with people to plan it out, or was it just an idea and you had to thrash it out? What was that planning process?
Look, to be honest, Reese and I, we lived together for a bit, and we obviously we worked prior to this for a different company, obviously doing the same thing, coaching.
Yeah.
And we came to our first thought of the business was something really small. So we wanted to get like a center that was just for maybe 200 square meters. So that's not big at all. And that was more based for just individual training. And then once we got speaking, we just, we had a paper, pen, and we just started writing ideas down. And from there, those ideas just turned into something massive. We started researching different properties in the area. And literally from there, we just went boom, because, the ideas that were coming to our head, we thought, what, we might as well go big if we're going to do this. Going small, look, those ideas will probably come again when we're doing something in that small area. And by then it's probably too late, or not too late, but then we could do it at another time. But definitely it was a lot of planning, a lot of notes. At the same time, we asked for advice from different people that, we knew in business. We knew, not doing the same field, for example, different fields. We spoke to that many different people, which helped us in the right path as well.
And when you say you're one of WA's leading football centres, soccer centres, what does that mean? Is that you just the most amount of people? You feel like you're the most profitable, or tell us about that?
Look, I think we're the first kind of what we're doing. Because our indoor centre, our football centre, it's AstroTurf. So as you walk in, there's gym mats that cover the floor, and then the main pitch is all AstroTurf, and which isn't done in Perth, especially in indoor size, futsal size, five-a-side size. And it's covered by a big net and a roof net as well, because we've got big lighting that obviously can't get hit. So it is the first of its kind in Perth. And look, this is just from me with my experiences when I've travelled overseas, and I've seen different academies at English Premier League clubs. They all have this sort of type of place. Obviously, I think due to the weather being a huge factor as well.
Yeah.
But
Slightly different
look,
weather there.
yeah, look, and I think we've created that in terms of it's a no excuses type of environment. As a kid, you'd go to a park, you'd have one ball, you'd shoot at a goal. Once you shoot at a goal, you have to go get your ball, restart, do it again. Whereas, at the centre, it's surrounded by walls. We've got big goals in there. We've got numerous amounts of balls. You shoot, you get your ball, you can start again in 10 seconds, So there's no excuses type of environment. That's what we wanted to create for, not just for footballers aspiring to be professionals, because there's people out there want to stay fit and healthy, and that's fantastic. That's something we want to drive as well. And there's obviously people that don't have the best abilities yet, and not expecting to be professional footballers, but they love the sport, they love interacting with people, and that's something we want to drive as well.
Yeah. And so what are some of the things you guys are doing from a business point of view? Are you regularly meeting, and do you have strategic sessions and still doing planning? And how do you make sure that you continue to be growing and sustain the business?
Yeah, no, look, that's a good question. So when we first started, we just did generic sessions throughout the whole week, and which means in a generic term, I like to say we worked on different parts of the game on different days, if that makes sense. So, for example, on a Monday, we'd work on shooting or attacking. On Tuesday, we'd work on defending. Wednesday, ball manipulation. Thursday, passing and moving. So each day was different. And look, it worked to an extent. We found certain days. Again, it's got to match with parents, and there's that many sports that kids play these days, and that many things they're doing. So if it works with what they're doing, it's it works for us too. So look, we had a few days that probably were a bit of dead time where nothing was happening. It was a bit quiet, and we thought, okay, look, we're not doing nothing today. We need to fix this. We need to start something different. We need to figure out different ways where this day can be important as well. So we changed some of our sessions to invite programs where I think we got the kids that we had identified to be better listeners. That's first and foremost, because for those that listen better, they're going to learn quicker than others. So we pick those people, and that's like their reward to come into us and say, you know what, you've got potential here if you want to, if you put your mind to it and stuff. So yeah, little things like that. And then, tournaments, we've just started our first junior tournament. That's taken nearly 2 years. And we tried to do it when we first opened, no luck, which is fair enough, because we're a new business. Junior tournaments are massive in Perth, but at different centres. So we started our own this year, and it's worked out well. But I think that comes with, more people hearing about us. And I think that's what our biggest thing was early, trying to get our name out. And look, and we've got a good backing from, like I said, the footballing community, but it's just those people that haven't heard about us yet that, are starting to hear us now, which is great.
Does it help that you were a professional footballer? Does it help with your marketing?
Yeah, of course. Of course. I think it helps with, the marketing side of things, the coaching side of things as well, because me previously, I've worked on some great coaches, and that's obviously where I've learned a lot of my coaching from. So now I can give that back to the kids that I've learned it from. So it's great. Like I said, it also helps your name, obviously. I'm not saying I was, a huge player back in the day, but I had my taste of professional football. So I know what it's about. I know the ups and downs because I've experienced them, and that's what I can give back to the kids growing up as well.
Yeah, because you can't read that in a book. Those experiences, you have to have them to be able to know what they are and teach them. So from a coaching point of view, what can you take from your professional football career and that you've applied to business? Are there things that you've taken from a discipline point of view or a training point of view that you've put into your business?
Yeah, a bit of both, to be honest. On the coaching side of things, I had coaches that were quite strict and demand discipline, which was great because I can also do that with not just my coaching, but like you said, the business side of things. Because look, I'm a forward thinker. I like to plan things in advance and make sure everything's set up right before we jump into it. So I'm a massive forward thinker. I like to plan quite well. and get things done early. In that way, I'm organised. I feel like I'm on top of things. I don't like going into things last minute and it's a rush and it's this and it's that. So no, I've definitely taken some of that from my footballing side of things back into business as well.
Yeah. And what about how to build teams? Because you must be building a team now. Have you got many people in your team?
Look, to be honest, we're not a team as such. We train kids, so basically we train during the week. And look, we're looking to potentially that's part of our plans as well. We want to take kids overseas. We recently just for the first time sent a kid over to Aston Villa in England in the English Premier League on trial. So as a kid, as a 10-year-old, he was fantastic opportunity. And that's something I didn't have growing up. I didn't have someone driving that. Where Reese and I, we've got some good links, some great contacts from as far as the Australian national team, as far as the EPL in England. So we've got great links, great contacts that we want to have that pathway there for boys that we see that have got potential to give them that extra step to reaching their goals and their potential as well.
Yeah. And in your business, is it just you and Reese? Have you got employees? That's the sort of, that's the team I'm talking about, that team there. Has it helped you with growing that team?
Of course. Look, when we first started out, don't get me wrong, it was hard work. It was just Reese and myself. We were literally there from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night because
big
that's
days.
where, a big look, and that's what you got to do. You got to make those sacrifices, especially while your business is starting out. And look, once we found our feet, once we were quite comfortable in what we were doing, and then we thought, you know what, we can start employing people. Yeah, now we've got a great team. We've got people that, at night time. So Reese and I don't sit on the desk anymore or referee with our social five-a-side tournaments. So we've taken a step back on those side of things. So we've got people on the desk, other coaches that we trust. And look, like I said, the coaches that we employ are people we believe in and believe that they want to, I guess, learn off us and be similar coaches like us. We don't, there's that cliche of, coaches yelling and screaming at kids and telling them to run instead of, touching the football, which is what they need. But young players these days, they don't need to run. If they want to do running, go track and field or something, they need to be touching the ball as many times as possible, because at the end of the day, we're miles behind the rest of the world in terms of youth football and obviously senior football too. The Australian national team, we've made the World Cup for the last, I think, consecutive years, but we're there participating. We're not there, challenging and making the top 16 round of 8, whatever it is, So we want to get to that point where we're challenging the rest of the world too. But it comes from having a good youth infrastructure too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where it's going to grow from, isn't it? So it's definitely one going to lead to the other. So have you had any big failures in the last 2 years? Is there anything you did that really you wish you didn't in the last 2 years in growing your business?
Look, nothing stands out ridiculous amounts. Maybe just certain things we've done within, our coaching and maybe the choices we made. But now we've identified them and realised, what, that doesn't work, so we're not going to do that again. Or
what kind of things were they? Can you give us an example?
Look, maybe just certain training sessions. What else have we done?
So so you've created a training session that wasn't popular, but you did it because you liked it or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So look, we designed sessions and we thought, what, this could work and kids could jump on board this, parents could, look into it. But we found out, what, maybe not. The tournament side of things, like I said, I think a lot of planning needs to come into it before you launch it. Sometimes we might have launched something with 2 weeks notice thinking, it's going to work. But really, what, that's probably dumb of us. Maybe they need more time to research it. And I just think with maybe a bit more time, people sort of, read it better. And I think less time, it's a bit tougher. Sometimes they just, I'm sure that parents get that many emails going out to them. They might just cross it off and say, see you later, So it's just, I think that's a learning curve, and that's something we've taken on board as well.
So just to put a bit more planning in behind something and not rush things, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, interesting. And so what does the future look like for you guys now? Have you got a goal of what you're trying to build?
Yeah, look, each year we're building. Like I said, this is our first year, 2 years in, starting the junior tournaments. With our senior tournaments, we run them on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we want to get to that stage where it's just consistent all the times. Teams are coming in, we're the first place people want to come and play. And again, look, we've already looked into next year and what we want to do with the kids that we've currently got at the centre that we train. So we've got a great group that we train as an invite program on a Saturday morning, and we've got high hopes for that group so far. We want to take them overseas. We want to build our bond with the English Premier League club that we have in England, Aston Villa. So there's so much we want to do. We want to build. Look, and that's the thing. We've done most of our trainings indoor, which is at our centre, which is great, which is fantastic, which is what we do. But we also have the license to do it outdoor as well. We can do it at different fields, different clubs, and yeah, that just generates more people. And like I said, we want to go far north. We want to go Joondalup way. We want to go south. We want to go Mandurah. There's so many things there's so many potential leads with what we want to do. It's just about still growing our main brand, which is in Osmer Park. And once we do that, that's when we can successfully, start to build in other areas. But look, first and foremost, we want to get this place right. And like I said, we're still fairly new. 2 years in.
2 years in is still very young, isn't it?
Yeah,
are you thinking of franchising or something like that, or just opening up other outlets? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, look, in the long run, that'll be something fantastic. That'd be great if we could get to that stage. But again, that comes from doing this first one really good. If there's no point looking to that if this one hasn't been sorted properly first.
Yeah, really, really important, isn't it, to make sure that systemised. And right now, I mean, you talked about being there from early in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. What sort of hours are you doing now? Is that been put into control, or?
Yeah, look, to be honest, it changes especially as in our market. We do our children play sessions, which is 2 to 5 year olds, and that's in the morning from 9:30 to 10:15, and then sometimes we might have the middle of the day free. We might have one-on-ones, and then afternoon is when all our sessions start, probably after school. So, look, we've got a bit of downtime during the day, but people still come and use the venue just for venue hire. People, like I said, use uni students, players that are injured, professional players, youth players come for one-on-ones. So, look, we just want to fill that downtime, like I said. And it's still, look, that's hard to manage sometimes. You've got that block in the middle of the day where we're pretty quiet, which is probably 12 to 2 o'clock, in and around that time where we're pretty quiet, but which is, that helps us, I guess, in a way too, because that's our time where we can do things, where we can plan things, where we can, work on what's working, work on what's not working, speak about it, have our own little meetings together, which is great. So I guess that downtime is great as well.
And talk us through a bit about the marketing. I mean, you've got a lot of customers now, and a lot of people struggle with growing a business, especially from scratch. What have you done that's worked really well for you from a marketing point of view? What do you feel has worked really well?
Look, I think our social media is quite powerful. Mm-hmm. We're very active on social media, and that, look, to be honest, that helped with Reese's girlfriend. She had a background in marketing, which was great for us because she taught us the ropes and said, look, this is some of the things you need to do. These are some of the people you need to watch to research and learn what they do, because we've done that online as well. And
so when you say social media, are you just posting photos and stuff, or are you actually paying for marketing?
No. So every post we do, look, we try to add value, because look, people want to, especially on social media, they want to be engaged. They want to be able to, potentially respond to one of the photos. And we've researched with the algorithm and how it all works on Instagram, Facebook. The comments, more comments, your post is going to keep refreshing and people keep going to seeing it. So that's what we want. And in order to do that, you need to provide good content, so people, the viewers, can enjoy what they're reading or what they're watching potentially.
Yeah, and I think because a lot of people struggle with using social media. So how do you actively measure that? Do you know for sure that people have come from social media because they've messaged you, or how do you know you're getting customers from it?
Yeah, no, look, we like I said, on the algorithm, Facebook and Instagram, it's huge these days. You can see where people, have bought something or viewed something from either, seeing the website, or they bought something because a friend, or, there's that many different pathways that they can see these things. So no, look, the marketing side, it's still, look, for me, it's still a massive learning curve as well. I'm still learning about it because it's very difficult. And I think that's where, I think in this day and age now, it's so powerful. You know, maybe the older generation find it difficult to change, because I think that's taken over massively. And that's where, you know, you're getting a lot of your customers. That's where they come from social media, because people on Facebook all the time, people on Instagram, LinkedIn, where else? Twitter. If you use Twitter, there's that many portals that you can use to find out about, you know, not just the football centre, but any other business.
It makes it hard though, isn't it? Because there's so many platforms. People are like overwhelmed. They go, well, where do I start? What do I do?
Correct.
Yeah.
No, that's where you can, you know, and that's what Facebook allows. You can target your geographic location. So what area of, for example, what area of Perth you want to hit, and I want to hit that area, and then they'll see more posts about the football centre.
Yeah.
So that's what, you know, that's a great tool to have. That's what Facebook allows you to do. So it's fantastic.
Yeah. And so have you got like a marketing plan? Is that where you've developed like a plan where you sit down and this is what we're doing this week, or is it just all done spasmodically? How do you go about planning it out?
To be honest, we do it quite spasmodically, like you said. To be honest, we're quite, look, we're flexible in what we do. We know we need to post, but that's what the viewers want to see as well. That's what our followers want to see. But again, it's no point just posting if it's just, you know, whatever is generic, because people just click on it, see it later. You know, if it's got something meaningful in it, that's when you get those viewers and you get the people commenting. And I think that's what adds that extra traction, and people start speaking about, you know, just little things that can, I guess, specifically target the audience you want to target as well.
So have you got strategies for getting people off of social media into your database or to buy from you? Like, you've got call to actions or anything on these posts, or are you just letting it all happen organically?
Look, like you said, some on the posts, people either get in touch with us, and we can see. We've got is it MailChimp? Sorry, we got MailChimp that is set up, so we got subscribers and all that sort of stuff through our website, and that's another way that people can see what we do. And again, we specify what, obviously, for what they want to subscribe to. So, for example, the senior tournaments, if they want to subscribe to that, they can. If they want to subscribe to the youth sessions that we run, the children's play sessions, it's totally up to them what they want to subscribe to, which is great.
And for anybody listening, MailChimp is a great tool, and MailChimp allows you to segment your database, communicate with automatic email responders and all sorts of things. So I really highly recommend, if you're not using a database or an email marketing software, it's a good thing to do. All right, we're just about out of time, Dean. It's been really good talking to you, mate, and I love what you're doing. I love the fact that you're so open to learning new things. Have you got a mentor or a coach that's working with you to help you at the moment, or?
To be honest, no. We've we actually met a guy on social media called, he runs under Cricket Mentoring, and he's huge. He's huge in what he does, but we met him when we were quite new in our business, so probably 3 or 4 months in, and we just wanted to learn and listen, and we did. And he just gave us some great advice, and just to be, you know, just true to what you believe in, be passionate about what you do, like we've been doing. And that's ultimately what's going to grow you. Your drive, your determination, your passion for your own business, and how much work you want to put into it will grow what you want to do. But yeah, if you want to say mentor, he's been great for us in terms of just learning and seeing what he does as well, to be honest.
Certainly sounds like he's a mentor to you, even though it may not be structured. I think sometimes, people like that in your life are mentoring. And like I said, both you and Reese have got parents that are in business as well, so that must help as well. So,
look, they give us their advice when needed. Look, they've obviously got a different field, but they know how the industry works. They've been a great help as well from day one as well, and we can't thank them enough as well.
So what advice would you give newbies that are kicking off their very first business? You like that pun in there, by the way, kicking off?
I like it, decent. No, look, I just say stay true to what you believe in, to be honest. Be passionate. Look, you're going to have your people that don't believe in you. You're going to have other outside influences that are negative, and that's where you've got to say, if you've got a good plan, and a good base that you've been working on, and you trust what you're doing, and you know what you're doing, and you're passionate about it, you're going to grow what you've started. So look, take the risk. It's a massive risk, but if you believe in what you do, you'll go a long way with it.
Yeah, good advice here, mate. And how do people find out more if they want to come along to your football centre and get better at playing the game, or just get fitter, or have some fun?
Yeah, no, we're on all social media platforms. Our website is www.footballcentre.com.au. We're on Instagram under the Football Centre Perth, and on Facebook as well under just the Football Centre. So
What a pearler of a domain name, Football Centre.
Footballcentre.com.au. We can't complain about that.
How good's that, eh? You scored that one well.
Yeah, no, I worked out well. It was tough getting it, but we'll take it.
Perfect. Well, if you want to find out more, head across to footballcentre.com.au, or you can catch up with them on all their social media pipes. We'll make sure we put all of those into the show notes for this episode. It's episode 234 of the Business Brain Food podcast. You can go to businessbrainfood.com.au, and if you just look for episode 234, or you could search for Dean Evans, and this podcast will pop up in your feed, and all the notes will have all the links, and anything we've spoken about throughout our chat that is a link or a book or a resource will be in that show note for you to be able to click on. All right, all we've got left to do, my main man, is do the 60-second scramble, where I ask you some quick questions. You give me some quick answers. Are you ready for that?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, let's start the clock ticking. All right, what's the favourite app on your phone?
Oh, Instagram.
Number one tip for being more efficient?
Oh, I'm not good at that. No.
Not good at that? Do you have a hidden talent?
Me? I'm going to say I'm good at golf.
Good at golf?
It's not really a talent. It's not talent, is it?
It's unusual for a footballer, though, to be good at golf, isn't it?
It's weird. It's weird.
There you go. Have you got an inspirational quote that you can share with us that you love?
Oh, top of my head, I'm just going to say never give up.
Nice one. What's your biggest addiction?
I love pizza. Is that an addiction? Yeah.
It sounds like it is. Lucky you're nice and active. What frightens you the most?
Snakes.
Yeah, but I think you won't be alone there. I think a few people. Your favourite movie?
Snakes. Wedding Crashers.
That is a good one, isn't it? And let's finish up on this one. Best way to tune out and relax?
Just music. I like to just get the iPod in and just chill out and listen to some good music.
Perfect, Dean. Well, thanks again, mate, for joining us for the Business Brain Food podcast. It's been great chatting with you, and I'm sure a lot of people got a lot out of it.
No, my pleasure, Ben. Thanks for having me.
Hey, our pleasure. Now, if you did enjoy the show, head across to the iTunes, Stitcher, or your favourite podcast player app. Leave an honest review or rating. We do read them all, and we love to get your feedback. It's how we make sure we continue to improve the show, but also helps those people that are discovering the show for the first time to understand what value they're going to get from investing their time in listening to it. So we really do appreciate you stopping in and leaving your feedback. We'd love to get it from you. The other thing you can do is join our closed Facebook group. We've got a group on Facebook now with thousands of members in there in the Business Brain Food Facebook group. Come in there and have a chat about all things business. They're currently having a great, jolly old time in there, and you are missing out. Today's episode is brought to you by maxmyprofit.com.au. If you are thinking about helping business owners grow their business, if you'd like to find out more about how you can become a business accelerator and help business owners build the business they imagined, Max My Profit is recruiting right now. They're looking for amazing people to be part of the team to help business owners grow and guide them on their journey to success. Head to maxmyprofit.com.au, click on the About tab, and learn about becoming a business accelerator. And once again, thanks so much for joining me for today's episode. I've been Ben Futro. You've been absolutely marvellous for tuning in and learning how to go to the next level. Until next time, have a very profitable day. See ya.
You could be larger than